So there's a lot of talk right now about the power of artificial intelligence, or AI. Right now, sure, some people are joking about the fact that AI has this kind of potential to hit this point of singularity, which is ultimately the point where artificial intelligence is more intelligent than human intelligence. I don't think we're there yet, but maybe artificial intelligence is simply smart enough to play dumb for long enough so it can take over, become Skynet from the Terminator movie.
We have to shut down Skynet. Where's the system core? Somewhere in this building?
Skynet, the virus has infected Skynet.
Skynet is the virus. It's the reason everything's falling apart.
Skynet has become self-aware. In 1 hour, it will initiate a massive nuclear attack on its enemy.
What enemy?
Us.
I don't know that that's gonna happen. Ultimately, that's not what this video is all about. I just have been reading a lot about that stuff recently. As with all my other videos, I'm gonna focus on the money and the impact that artificial intelligence is gonna have on the potential for you to earn money. Now, here's a reality about AI here in 2023. It's evolving at a rate faster than most expected even possible. It's extremely powerful when you really think about it. While it's gonna make some people rich, it's also gonna have a massive deflationary impact potentially inside of our economy. And in a world where the Fed and the government are trying to push inflation, that deflationary environment could cause some problems. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. That way you're notified every time I launch a new video, because I got videos like this on personal finance coming out every single day. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, Cashflow hackers? You've probably been hearing a lot about artificial intelligence in the news. If you're a business owner, you've probably seen and been dabbling with utilizing artificial intelligence in your business to create leads, create scripts, create processes, do all these different things, right? I've personally been spending a fair amount of time on AI, and I think that it presents such an amazing opportunity for my businesses that I'm actually moving responsibilities around for members on my team so that one person is actually going to be pretty much 100% dedicated to learning how artificial intelligence in our company can be utilized to grow it and help us be more effective and efficient with what we do. It's that powerful that I think putting one person in charge of just that task is worth it, right? So I know I'm not alone in this, right? Like, there are other business owners, millions of them, just like me, that are out there looking to use artificial intelligence to accomplish more tasks easier. Challenge is that has some potentially real negative consequences to our economy. And I think it's important that you give it serious consideration on how the impacts of artificial intelligence will affect your career and your life before it actually gets here. Because this is the kind of thing that you need to prepare for ahead of time, because by the time you actually see it and feel it, it's likely going to be too late for you to adapt it. This is the kind of thing that you need to be ahead of. Now, before I go any further, let's talk about what deflation is in the first place, because some of you might not even know that term. I'm going to keep it simple. Deflation is when prices get cheaper. On the surface, deflation seems like it'd be a good thing if you just look at it from that metric alone. However, when you look deeper into why deflation happens, it can look a little bit more gloomy. All right, so maybe gloomy is strong. I say gloomy, but at the end of the day, deflation has been a part of the world economic cycles that we've gone through forever. Deflation doesn't need to be bad. In fact, deflation historically was actually oftentimes a very positive thing for most people. It's actually been for only about the past 50 years that deflation has been deemed the quote-unquote boogeyman of the economy, right? And that's all because the Federal Reserve and the US government have convinced everybody to live in a debt-based and over-leveraged society. In that society, deflation can actually be quite catastrophic. So there are ultimately two things that can lead to deflation. The first one is a decrease in demand. Now, this typically happens during a recession, during a depression, something of that nature, even though it doesn't happen very often. People are simply worried about surviving in those periods of time, right? They don't spend their money on extracurricular things as often, which leads to decreases in demand, which leads to lower prices, and people are just worried about surviving, and the trickle-down effect from the people who actually spend the money, deploy the money to businesses, it impacts prices, right? So the next reason, the second reason, is an increase in supply, right? It's the whole supply-demand conversation. This is where artificial intelligence comes in. You see, an increase in supply can come from something as simple as a discovery. As an example, one of the things that makes gold so valuable is the fact that it has a limited supply. And then when you tap onto the fact that there's a cost to extract it from the earth, those are ultimately the things that cause gold to have a supply-demand thing. It's limited supply, and the challenge to pull it from the earth. Did you know, and this is a surprising statistic for me, I can remember the first time I heard it, that you can fit every piece of gold that's ever been mined and refined inside of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's it. Every piece of gold in the history can fit inside of one Olympic-sized swimming pool. So what would happen to the price of gold if a massive deposit of gold were found and extracted? It would cause the price of gold to drop. However, what if there was a gold deposit found, but that deposit was deep in the ocean and it was out of the reach of current technology to reach it? Well, it wouldn't really matter, because if it couldn't be extracted, it wouldn't really have an impact on the supply, right? So, however, now if we take it to the next level, what then, because somebody knew that that gold existed, they said, we're going to invest in technology. They went out and they created a submarine gold mining technology that could extract that gold. Then the price of gold would likely go down based on the supply and demand of gold. It would, if it flooded the market with an equal amount of already equaling the supply that we have. So using those analogies to put deflationary forces of artificial intelligence into perspective, Goldman Sachs has actually said that AI has the potential to reduce the global need of labor by up to 300 million jobs. And I know that's a shocking number to a lot of people, but the reality is this is nothing new. In fact, every technological innovation has led to deflation. Think about it this way. Technology always leads to more efficiency in productive output, right? That productive output leads to innovation, and typically that innovation leads to lower prices. This is a cycle that we've always gone through, a technology cycle. Throughout history, this has been true. We've seen it. Every technology throughout history has not only attributed to a higher standard of living, but it's also been a contributor of deflation. Let's look at a couple examples just from history. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Now, as the telephone technology and the infrastructure around it developed, it made business cheaper and more efficient. While that efficiency led to lower prices, it also led to a reduction in jobs. The creation of automobiles and the mechanical farm equipment led to deflation, as they proved to be faster, stronger, and more efficient than horses and other cattle. Businesses were able to operate more efficiently. This led, once again, to lower prices, but it also led to the elimination of thousands of jobs. At the end of the day, people had to adapt. Now, in more modern times, the outsourcing of manufacturing to more developing nations has led to deflation. For the everyday consumer, it's led to lower prices on clothing, on home goods, things of that nature, but it's also come at a cost of millions of jobs in America. In addition, let's take a look at more modern times again and take a look at the development of the internet from 2000 to present. This period of time has actually been deflationary. Yeah, we've had inflation, but I believe one of the reasons that our inflation has been at kind of historically low levels over the past 20 years is because of the innovation of the internet and the technology developed behind it, right? When you look at it deeper, sure, the conveniences of shopping at Amazon, are great, but once again, it comes at a cost. The advancement of the internet and smartphone technology has led to virtually every US citizen purchasing more and more of their items online due to the cost and convenience that goes along with it. The result? Something that's being called the retail apocalypse. 154 retail box stores have closed or filed for bankruptcy. Household names that seemed impervious to fail. Companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, Tuesday Morning, Revlon, Olympia Sports, Steinmart, and 149 others. These are stores that have been around and successful for multiple generations. And as great as the internet has been, the impact on a lot of these businesses has been dire. Hundreds of thousands of jobs will be lost. And the sad part is, these are the jobs for the people who need them most in many situations. To make it worse, the stress that this is going to cause on the commercial real estate sector is going to be significant. However, like anything else, there's going to be opportunity to get creative and fill those box store locations with newer creative options. Those who figure out those solutions first are going to be the ones that win the most. But let's get back to the point here. Artificial intelligence is innovating at a rate that few expected, and if this continues at this rate, it's going to be more deflationary than all of the other innovations in history combined. Now, that'll be great for people like me who innovate and are always focused on growing. It's going to be great for consumers, as it will drive prices down for practically every sector of the economy, as every company around the world is going to be able to utilize AI to enhance its efficiency and productive output, which is ultimately going to lead to lower prices for the consumer in the long run. But It's going to come at the cost of not thousands, but millions of jobs. While everyone is worrying about runaway inflation right now, I would argue that artificial intelligence has single-handedly put us into a potentially deflationary environment over the next 5 to 10 years. In fact, even with the United States government having $32 trillion in debt and $187 trillion of unfunded liabilities, one could make a strong argument that the deflation caused by AI could actually be the savior of the US dollar. Now, unfortunately, the YouTube AI algorithm hasn't developed the ability to read your mind yet, but since I know what you're thinking, and I know you're feeling that this is such a great video and you found so much value in it, now would be a perfect time to smash that subscribe button. While you're at it, click on the bell that way you're notified every time I launch a new video, because I got personal finance videos like this coming out every single day. Hopefully you did find value in this. If you did, like it, share it, get it out there to the world. Till next time, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll see you tomorrow.